Hey everyone, it's P here, and we are back for another Archetype 101, covering every single archetype, giving you a quick 5 to 10 minute idea of what the deck wants to do, to give you an idea of whether you want to pick up the deck if it matches your playstyle, or to give you an idea of how to beat the deck and what it's trying to do when you end up facing it in game. With that said, guys, if there's any cards you want to pick up for this archetype, then I have to push you guys over to 3 Mana Inc. They have the best prices across Canada for any of your Digimon sealed or single needs. And of course, if you want to watch me pilot decks like these, I Twitch on stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and on weekends for tournament streams. So links to those will be down in the description below. Of course, we are going to jump right into Red and Black RagnaLoardmon, one of the breakiest feeling but intense level 7s in the game. Of course, the entire reason to play the deck is RagnaLoardmon himself, a 14 cost 3 to Evo in red or black, 14k red level 7 with security attack +1 and reboot, which is sweet. It means that he's less vulnerable to removal. Granted, at 14k it is really tough to get rid of him, but it protects you from purple. It means, you know, Omnimons that are on board won't be able to get rid of you all that easily. And he has the bonus that when you Digivolve, you may place one Durandamon or RagnaLoardmon in your hand on top of this card's Digivolution cards to gain 3 memory. So effectively, you're going from one level 6 into Ragna, and when you Digivolve into him, you can slide in another level 6 of these 2 pieces under him to gain 3 memory, effectively making him a free Evo, which is really sweet. And you can see that this is a dual color art, like it really orients itself around being dual color. Now you can play this in either red or black, but there's benefits in running both, because we see here some of the very few mega level inheritables that we're going to see later on. And having both of them adds even more benefit to the deck. But there's really 2 routes you can go with this. So we have a huge beefy attacker that can really put on a lot of pressure if you get there. So what cards are really benefiting us when we get to this level 7? Now, we're going to start off with the Tama's first hand. In red, there's not one that works specifically with him. The red aspects of the deck do orient itself towards piercing. So, of course, we could run Babydamon, which gives, you know, your piercing Digimon a bonus of 2k. Just cleanly off the bat there, which would push your RagnaLoardmon to being a 16k, which means it can take out Omnimon. And if we go with the black option, we have Kakinmon. When attacking once per turn, if the Digimon is level 7, gain 1 memory. And this is really where it lines up a lot more with the support that RagnaLoardmon gets, specific to how his archetype is meant to work. We get a lot of inheritables that work directly with the fact that if you have a level 7, you can do XYZ. Jumping into the rookies is where we get some consistency pieces. So we have Zubamon, 3 cost to play, 0 to Evo, 1k DP. On play, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Add 1 RagnaLoardmon Digimon card and 1 Digimon card with Legend Arm in its type among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. So cards have types, and it's not very clear to newer players that that's a thing, because not a lot of cards interact with card types in our game right now. But if you see right here, right at the black part of this line here, you'll see things, you'll see extra information about your Digimon. So what level it's at, what type of Digimon it is, and then specifically more typing. I'm not even sure what to call it, but all the cards from this archetype fall under the Legend Arms archetype, which means that they're searchable based on a lot of these card skills. So for here, we see that we're able to get another Legends Arms card, so it can get any of the red pieces, or additionally, you can find any of the black pieces. So here we have Ludamon. On play, reveal top 5 cards, add a RagnaLoardmon, and 1 Digimon with Legend Arms among its type to its hand. And the entire archetype has Legend Arms, really adding into that consistency that you're going to be able to find more pieces. Plus, this is effectively a +1 if you're able to hit a Ragna on your top 3, which is really sweet. You're going to be able to find your Ragna, and you're going to be able to find your Legend Arm pieces to really go up the chain. Once we get past the rookies, however, this is really where we start stacking on inheritable after inheritable after inheritable. First off, starting with the champions. So on the red side, we have Zuba Eagermon, 4 cost to play, 2 cost to Evo, 4k DP. With the inheritable, while this Digimon is level 7 on your turn, it gains security attack +1, so pushing more of that aggression. And on the black side, we have Tia Ludamon. Again, 4 to play, 2 to Evo, 4k DP. With the inheritable, if this Digimon is level 7, trigger Digivolve 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon when attacking. So a lot of great tempo here. You know, with red, you're going to go for the more aggressive, I'm going to close out the game quickly side. With black, I'm going to be more controlling. I'm going to maintain board control and really, you know, mitigate you trying to get in there, which lines up very well with what both colors are trying to do. And of course, because the top end can Evo from both ends, you can kind of mix and match a little bit. On the ultimate side, we have Doraemon 6 to play, 3 to Evo, 7 KDP, which honestly is very aggressively costed, especially for something that has an inheritable like, hey, security attack +1. Just clean. So now we're at security attack +2, and then RagnaLoardmon has security attack +1 all by himself. So just with the champion and ultimate, if you're using the red stacks, we're looking at security attack +3. On the black side, we have RagnaLoardmon 6 to play, 3 to Evo, 7 KDP, and once again, when attacking, if this Digimon is level 7, trigger D Digivolve 1. So again, you gotta be a level 7. You gotta be RagnaLoardmon to get any value out of us. But when you do, exact same thing. On red, we get security attack +1. On black, we continue with the board control aspects. And then we go one step further into the megas. And these megas being really interesting because they're some of the first megas that have inheritables, lining up directly with working with RagnaLoardmon. So here we have Durandamon 10 to play, which is very aggressively costed for a mega with a inheritable, which is awesome to see. And then the Digivolve cost of 3 either in red or black, which is great. You're really going to be able to mix and match on the mega level into Ragna. So on the top end is really where you're going to get your flexibility in terms of how do I want to label and set up these inheritables to make the RagnaLoardmon work the way I want him to. 12 KDP with the inheritable, just flat out piercing. Of course, you don't have to add the tag that if it's a level 7, because the only thing that's going to go over Durandamon is a level 7 Digimon. Alternatively, we have RagnaLoardmon 10 to play, 3 to Evo in black or red, 12 KDP, and flat out inheritable of blocker. Now turning your Ragna into a more defensive beast, which really aligns well with, hey, I'm going to de-digivolve your board. I'm going to, make it really tough for you to break through. And I'm going to have a big, beefy 14k blocker that you're not going to be able to punch through. On top of the fact that if you now use RagnaLoardmon's ability to put one of these under when you go into it, odds are the way that Archetype is meant to set up is that you're going to have both Durandamon and RagnaLoardmon under, whether you go with the de-digivolve aspect or the security attack aspect. So you're going to have piercing, you're going to have board control, and you're going to have blocker, which is really awesome. And then you got reboot, which means you can go attack into something, you can de-digivolve something else, you can get your piercing ability, you're going to get security attack +1, and then once your turn is over, you're going to get the reboot, and then you have the bonus of having a big beefy blocker there to continue with keeping up the tempo of the deck. But like we can see, there's a lot of places for this kind of archetype to be really, really tough. All your pieces aside from your rookies don't actually do anything until you get into RagnaLoardmon, which is one of the tough reasons to really, it's something that you're just gonna have to accept playing the deck. But we can see that the deck is insanely powerful if you do get to RagnaLoardmon. If you go down the red route and you're just purely the red route, you have a huge piercer that has security attack +3 at 14k, which is absolutely massive. You're basically, by the time that happens, clearing out your opponent's entire security stack, because you could probably poke him for 1 at some point in the game. And with the red, you have piercing, which means it can't even be blocked. And if it is, well, you're going to get your checks anyways, which is absolutely amazing. On the black end, you get board control, de-digivolve, and you get to really force your opponent to be in an awkward position. But the problem is that you're not doing either of those things until you get into RagnaLoardmon, which really makes it hard for the deck to really come together. But if you can, it's super sweet and does this really, really powerful aspects. So really, and you don't have to go all the way, right? You don't have to go the route of giving your RagnaLoardmon, security attack +3 and just commit to the red. The really powerful aspect of the deck is that you can get both piercing and blocker just by using his Digivolve skill, and you can build that stack however you want. So there's a lot of flexibility in how you want to build your RagnaLoardmon deck if you don't want to commit to the hard archetype of having all the Legends Arm pieces stack all the way up to this insane type of Digimon. But with that said, guys, that was my coverage on red and black RagnaLoardmon, a very powerful archetype that, if you can get into your RagnaLoardmon, can push for an insane amount of pressure or consistently keep your opponent's board in check. And then once he sits there, your opponent better have something like a Gaia Force or something, because he's not doing anything else, because he's rebooting, he's security attacking +1, he's blocking, he's piercing, he's doing everything you could ever want from a level 7. With that said, guys, how do you guys want to build RagnaLoardmon? I know a lot of people love this deck. I've seen some people call this deck the brick on wheels, which honestly, I kind of see it, but it's super fun. I love the idea of the archetype, and I love having a huge, massive Digimon that can just clear my opponent's entire security stack, which RagnaLoardmon sets himself really well to be. I'd love to hear you guys' take in the comments. Of course, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Hey, if you dislike it, thumbs down works too. If you want to catch more of my videos, of course, guys, we're going to do more Archetype 101s. We're going to do gameplay. We're going to really expand on what we do with the Digimon stuff on the channel. Subscribe button's in the corner, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.